who pulled up for a catch-up. It's really here from 947 Afternoons. And if you're here, it means you've got taste. Go ahead, enjoy the moment you missed. But don't ghost me. Weekdays, 12 to 3 p.m. on 947. I'm loud and way more fun in real time. And yeah, there's more audio magic waiting for you right here on Prime Media Plus.
You're listening to
Mo Flava on 947.
Okay, we've got someone coming in with a bit of a story they'd like to share. Brenda says they are moeg. In fact, her opening line is ek is moeg. All right, Brenda, wat's fout? Brenda says, when schools were closed, I took leave. And the plan since December was simple. Drop the kids at their paternal grandparents' place so that I can finally just rest. My parents are all the way in KZN, but his parents are right here in, I'm not sure where Brenda is from. Okay, wherever that is. Are right here, just 40 minutes away. The problem, my husband's father has suddenly reappeared and rekindled things with his mother. My husband is bitter because his dad was never there for him, so now he's refusing to let the kids go there. Mo, I don't care about the drama. I planned this months ago. I could have sent them to KZN if I knew he was going to pivot like this. I just want to sleep, read my book, and have my wine in peace. Would I be wrong to just stick to the plan and drop them off anyway? Or do I have to sacrifice my sanity because he's just got daddy issues? So in essence here, Brenda is saying, listen, I want to go drop off the kids at my hubby's parents' place. That's the kids' grandparents on the paternal side. And because hubby has an issue with the dad, like he's like, no, I don't want my kids exposed to that man. And then now there goes Brenda's plans of taking a break. First of all, Brenda, I totally get it. Any parent that's raising kids that are still in school, there's just so much. You need a break. It is a lot. So I totally get you, Brenda. And I think hubby ought to hear you out here. When your wife or your husband says they're tired, listen to them. It's not a small thing. It's a big deal. If you want war, ignore the fact that they're tired and ignore them at your peril. Because I think, in the context of a partnership, we have to work together to help each other keep our sanity. Now, I don't think anybody's disputing the issues that hubby has with his dad, but he is the kid's grandfather. Am I saying he's got no right to determine or decide where his kids go? Of course he's got the right. He is the dad. But is there room for compromise? So if you have maybe issues with your parents and you've got kids, do you prevent your kids from spending time with your parents, being their grandparents? And if you are in a relationship or a marriage, is it now a dynamic that's causing a bit of drama? How do you manage that? And what are some of the reasons why you would not want your kids to be exposed to their grandparents? Yeah, I'm really curious to find out. Because I'm on the other side. I've got no issues with my kids linking up with their grandparents. In fact, all is dandy there. So to some extent, even I can only imagine what it might be like to be in a scenario like that. So I'm really keen for your perspective. Brenda wants to know if she's wrong to just want to break and ship the kids off, irrespective of all the drama between her husband and his dad.
947.
Today's dilemma is from Brenda. Brenda is tired, and she has planned that when she goes on leave, when schools close, etc., I would be sending the kids off to the grandparents. And the grandparents being her husband's parents. Or at least in this particular case, it was often the husband's mom. But somehow the husband's dad has just reappeared and is now in, hubby's mom's picture and life. And the problem is that the hubby doesn't have a good relationship with his dad, being the grandfather to these kids. And for that reason, he doesn't want his kids anywhere near them. Brenda says, we can't take the kids to KZN. That's where my parents stay. It's too far. So how do I get my break then? I'm tired tired from everything. I get it, Brenda. You don't even have to explain yourself, my dear. But should there be a compromise on hubby's side to say, I hate my dad, but I can't pass on the same feelings towards my kids to have for him?
Mo, the problem is not the problem. It's her attitude about the problem. Just give that money to go buy bread or milk again, and you will never ever see him again. Simple, problem solved.
Hey Mo, okay. For me at this point, I think the lady's tired, right? So you are tired, and there's help. It's like there's somebody who can help you, and you can relax, and at no cost because they're family. So at this point, I think the guy must just either him take the kids and let the wife rest, or accept that the kids must go to the grannies and let the wife rest. I still feel like the wife needs to rest because she's tired and she needs that time to, to bring back strength, because she has no other choice, and this is like a cheaper option to get rest. And I mean, they are the grandparents, but the guy has issues, then the guy must make a way for her to rest without the kids.
We all have certain values we want to live by, we want to raise our kids by, and we all have traumas that we were raised by, and you don't want to inflict that trauma onto your kids. So the lady must book tickets to KZN for the kids to go to KZN, because if I was the husband, I won't budge, because if he does, he's going to be uncomfortable. And when the kids come back, every little behavior that is picked up from there, it's going to be, I told you so, I told you so.
So in other words, the kids going there in this context would be a bad idea, because it would cause more issues and bring about other things that are going to complicate life for both Brenda and her husband. I get that. And also note past traumas. I think that's absolutely legitimate. And I think hubby obviously still needs to work on that. And, that doesn't happen overnight. And he's well within his right to have an opinion about his father as well. And within his right as a dad to say, this man does not align with what I stand for, and I don't want my kids exposed to him. Be that as it may, what do you then do about your tired wife? Maybe then, buy plane tickets and ship the kids off to Durban or KZN, wherever it is, and let that be that. Yes, it may be a costly exercise, but as a hubby, then you get peace of mind knowing that your kids are with grandparents you would actually prefer them to be with. I'm also thinking about his mom, the husband's mom, being the grandmother to these kids. Why must she now suffer? Because now, does that mean she gets deprived equally of seeing the kids? Oy, oy, oy. Yeah, that's why we have this daily dilemma, isn't it? To just kind of look at life and see what's out there, what people are dealing with, and maybe it relates to you, maybe it doesn't, but we all have a thought on it. So I appreciate all those voice notes. Brenda, you've got some perspective to work with. But I think we can all agree that it's not an easy one. So yeah, hopefully it works out.
947